Cardinals get the win. They knock off the Philadelphia Phillies tonight by a 3-2 score. Welcome in. This is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. If you want to join the program, you can do so multiple ways to get connected with the show. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. If you want to tweet at me, I'm at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. And for those of you who are watching us on the video stream, feel free to leave a comment, and we will see those comments as we move along, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, wherever you might be. You can just leave a comment, and we will address as many of those as we can as we go through the course of the program tonight. I thought that was a great win. I thought that was a really, really good win for the Cardinals tonight. I love the way the bullpen was used. Evidently, Phil Maton was down today. He was not available, and they pushed Kyle Leahy. And, yeah, Leahy's he's not going to be available tomorrow after going 2 1/3 innings. But you save Maton for tomorrow, and Leahy looks so good. That might be the best he's ever looked as a Cardinal. And, I mean, this is a dude who's got a 1.09 ERA. So even though it went down a little bit today, he's been really good all year long. But he was just absolutely fantastic. Joe Romero did his job. Ryan Helsley did his job offensively. The Cardinals, they scored just the 3 runs, but they score them at good times. They take the lead 3 different times. Now, give credit to the Phillies. They answer twice, but they don't answer the third time. Von Herrera hits a home run, his first home run since being back off the injured list. Mason Wynn with the tiebreaker there in the 7th inning. That put the Cardinals ahead 3-2, and that kept them right there. And Cardinals get the win, and they continue on a run. They have won 9 straight games with this victory tonight. So that's one heck of an accomplishment for this team for sure. Again, if you want to get in here, you call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, or you can just go ahead and leave a message if you are watching on the video stream. Let's get our first caller of the night. Fred has given us a call. Hey, Fred, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Hi, Matt. I want to comment on Victor Scott. He reminds me of a person I overlapped in high school and college 2 years each, Bake McBride. Bake was taller. Both have really good speed, played center field very, very well. But that's my comment.
All right. Appreciate that, Bake McBride. I don't know a lot about Bake McBride, to be perfectly honest with you. He played for the Cardinals in the mid to late 70s, also played his career in Philadelphia and Cleveland, wrapped up in 1983 in Cleveland. So McBride's not a guy that you don't hear him talked about that much. But, I mean, this is a guy who won a Rookie of the Year award in 1974. He was a top 20 guy in terms of the MVP. He was a top 10 MVP finalist in his 1980 season with Philadelphia. So yeah, he put up some really big numbers. You look at those stolen base numbers. He was a 36 stolen base guy in 1977. That was a combination in 77 between the Cardinals and the Phillies. So I like that. Bake McBride, somebody who was from this area, Fulton, Missouri, is where he was originally from, and he went to Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. 37th round draft pick there in the 1970 draft. So appreciate that call for sure. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. Let's grab some of the text messages that are starting to roll in. Let's see. Let's go back to a call from, or I should say a text from the 618. Says, yes, Jordan Walker, game winner. I know Helsley was the 9th inning game winner, but kudos to Jordan Walker. That was a great play by Walker at the end. And for those of you who are listening on the radio, and obviously John did a great job of describing how Walker came in, I think the TV broadcast was even more kind of pronounced on it because Walker wasn't really in the screenshot, and then all of a sudden he comes in from out of nowhere and he makes that play. So Walker has really, really improved himself from a defensive standpoint, and that was a great play that he was able to make to finish things off. That texter goes on to say, great pitching, great defense, great offense, good team win. Said they're definitely playing as a well-coordinated team. Says, I have just one question. Maybe some folks need to ask this of themselves. How can anyone turn their backs on the team right now because of grudges with management? It makes no sense. That's Teresa who sent that in. I think that's going away a little bit. Look, there's 5 more games left on this road trip. They've won 4, so they're one more win away from guaranteeing at least a winning road trip, which is kind of what you hope for when you go into a road trip like this. If you can find a way to go at least 5-4, you're happy. I think now you can get a little bit greedy and want a little bit more based off the fact that they've won the first 4 games of the trip for sure. I was saying this to somebody earlier. So sometimes I kind of monitor Twitter and I search for certain things just to get a sense of what fans are thinking. It's important for me to know, and Twitter is not always representative of the fan base. In fact, it's not, but it's good to know what everybody is saying. And I was doing some searches last night just to see how much I could find from people who, with the standard not believing in the team and still finding ways to have grudges against Oliver Marmol and John Mozeliak and the DeWitts and everything. And honestly, I didn't see a lot of it last night. And I'm sure it can come back very quickly if things start to turn in the wrong direction for the club. But at least for, look, you're on a 9-game winning streak. I think people have to really be looking for something if they're going to complain too much about the club. But it does feel like more and more people are starting to jump in on what's going on with this team. Let's grab Carol, who has given us a call. Hey, Carol, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment about the outfield coaching. Like every Cardinals fan, I love Willie McGee, but I tend to think that the big improvement we've seen in Jordan Walker's fielding, and Victor Scott also mentioned this when he was on the radio earlier today. I think John Jay may have brought a new outlook, and Willie's been with us a long time in that position. So I think maybe the coaching change was beneficial to our outfielders.
Yeah, it's a good point, and I love Willie McGee so much, so I want to be careful in how I answer this because Willie McGee is a great coach, and I'm so glad that he's still in the organization and he's impacting young players, and he is a fantastic outfield coach. So what I'm about to say, and I think you were kind of on the same path, Carol, this is not a negative towards Willie at all, but I do think something that this team was missing in terms of coaching was guys who played in the big leagues fairly recently. Now, it changed a little bit last year when Daniel Descalso came in. That helped. But then this year, John Jay comes in. So you have Descalso and Jay. You've got 2 former big leaguers who did it fairly recently. And I think just having guys that are somewhat known can be really impactful. Plus, you add on that Jay's just a good coach. He's a really, really good coach. I'm not saying he's a better coach than Willie McGee. He's a different kind of coach. But I think more than anything else, being able to have somebody who played recently is something that is helpful for this team and the guys are able to really appreciate. Our guy Ball Game, if you listen every night, you know that after every win, he sends in his tip of the cap and raise of the glass. Tonight, he says it goes to Mason Wynn and Ryan Helsley, the hitter, for taking the lead back with the home run, picking up his teammate Pereira, the pitcher for getting a quick start and leaving Harper standing on deck in the 9th inning. You know, Helsley hasn't gotten a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings lately. Has not gotten a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings. And tonight there was some value in getting a 1, 2, 3 inning because you avoid Harper, and that's what he was able to do tonight. So that was a nice job by Ryan Helsley to indeed have that 1, 2, 3 frame. Back to the phones. Brendan has given us a call. Hey, Brendan, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Yeah, I want to talk about Matthew Liberatore. He continues to impress me, and something about him just seems different. Watching him strike out guys, especially those first couple of innings, man, people like Bryce Harper is whiffing at his ball. Like sometimes the opposing players are looking lost at Matthew Liberatore's pitches. If he can keep this up, like what's his role in this organization?
Starter, like without a doubt, starter, a guy that you can count on, a guy who can, I think his ceiling is towards the top of the rotation. That's why they made that trade for him many years ago. The thing that's really impressing me about him, his velocity is sticking around. When we talk about elite pitchers in Major League Baseball, these aren't guys that just hit 95, 96. These are guys who are staying at 95, 96 as they get into the 80s, 90s, towards 100 pitches. Now, he didn't get the opportunity to throw that many pitches today. He was pulled out at 80. I think it was a good idea to pull him right there. You just didn't want things to go wrong. But at the same time, if he would have stayed in the game, he still looked good. There was just a couple things that went against him. You really trust Kyle Leahy. But this is where people scoff about the runway season. And I know that's a term that's been used way too often. But Liberatore only gets this opportunity to be in the rotation because it was a year where they wanted to find out about guys. Well, tell Matthew Liberatore that he's going to be a starter and he's going to pitch every fifth day and he doesn't have to be looking over his shoulder. And all of a sudden you've got a guy who starts to let it loose. I think it was good for him that he pitched in the bullpen and kind of learned that part of the game. And he takes at times a bullpen approach to some of what he does. And then something that's been talked about a fair amount here recently from John Mozeliak and others is he took his offseason this year as he had probably his best offseason of his career. And I almost said more seriously. I think that's the wrong way to put it because that makes it sound like he wasn't taking previous offseason seriously. That's not it. But sometimes as an athlete, you just you learn a little bit about what you need to do and the best way to go about an offseason. And that's what he did. And I think he came into camp ready to go more so than he's ever in his career. And it's really fun to see him turn into a guy who, who do you trust in this rotation right now more than Matthew Liberatore? And Sonny Gray is probably the first name that comes up in that. But when you talk, just Liberatore has been borderline dominant so many times this year. It's been really, really fun to see what he's been able to do. Henry sends messages on the video chat. Just says, just want to say that for the diehard fans like myself, this 9-game win streak is a bedrock proof that the team is not garbage. The people constantly trashing this franchise are don't call people names. Says Cardinal Way will never die. Henry, let's keep it. You send in messages just about every single night. Let's avoid the name calling if we possibly can. But the point is, I think this is a team that is more talented and has the ability to be better than people thought. Now, I say all that on May 12th. There's a lot of baseball left to be played. It's a young group. They have to continue to perform at a high level. So 1 quarter of the season doesn't make the season, but it's a really good start right now. And but they're still in second place. Still got another team in front of them to be able to catch. Text message from the 573 says winning against a great Phillies team on the road shows how well this team is performing by showing some good defense, base running, pitching, and some big knocks, plus some good management on Ollie's part. Glad to see Helsley return to form. Just curious if Scott would have made the catch. Eric does send that in. Yeah, the catch, I assume you're talking about the one the Barrero came up just short on that results in a run scoring. I think Scott probably does make that catch, but not many guys do. Barrero's really good. He's probably a little bit better of an infielder than an outfielder, but that's why Scott came in late. Victor Scott can't play every single day. Barrero's going to make most of the plays out there, so I'm not overly upset about him not making the play. It's good that if you can have a game where one of your frontline players who's a very good defensive player doesn't play, and the person who replaces them doesn't make a play that you think that frontline player would have made, and you still win that game, well, then that's a win all the way around. Irvin has given us a call. Hey, Irvin, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Yeah, what I want to say was Jordan Walker, he's a good player. He's coming in his own. It's just taking a little time for him to, to come to get himself together. But my thing is that I think that his stand, when he's up at the plate, he needs to go look at some old tapes like Gagaraga when they had all the other Cardinals that hit the big home runs, McGuire and all the good guys that hit the home runs. You kind of need to look at their stand and kind of maybe get a little bit off of what they did, how they did it, and be able to swing the bat and hit the home run. You got to start hitting some home runs at the end of the season before the Cardinals go to the playoffs. That's my comment. Go Cardinals.
All right, Irvin. Certainly appreciate. I'm not as worried with Walker hitting home runs as I am just him driving the ball. The home runs will come. I'm worried more about the doubles, but more than anything else, I'm worried about swing choices. You could talk about, and I'm not a batting coach. I'm not a guy who can break down a batting stance or anything like that. And the Cardinals have a really good hitting coach right now in Brent Brown, and Jordan Walker's doing a ton of work with them. What I can tell you is the swing decisions that Jordan Walker is making are not the swing decisions that you would like him to make all the time. And for me, that's the first thing that I want to see cleaned up. If he starts making better decisions on what to swing at and what not to swing at, I think that's the first domino that gets pushed down, and everything else starts to play. Look, he's struggling. He is struggling. He's a 180 hitter. His month of May so far is 1 for 22. He is striking out a lot. 12 strikeouts and 22 bats in the month of May. 43 strikeouts and 122 bats overall. So he is struggling at the plate for sure. I know he's still really working hard, and I think we can see from the way he's playing defensively that he is not letting his hitting struggles impact other parts of the game, because he has turned into a really, really good defender. The Extra Innings Show is presented in part by Gray Bar. Gray Bar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. We've still got a lot more to get to, a bunch of text, a bunch of messages on the video stream that we have not gotten to yet. If you want to chime in, you can still do so by calling, texting, or tweeting. If you call or text, the phone number is 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. If you tweet at me, it's at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or if you are watching us here on the video stream, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, you can leave a comment, and we'll get to that as we go along with the show tonight. This is the Extra Innings Show. Cardinals come up with a good win. They beat the Phillies by a 3-2 score. More coming up in just a moment right here on KMOX.
Well, it seems it was just, I think just about a year ago, last May, when I was attacked by those cicadas. It was a planned attack. I just completely believe it. And I think a couple of them I guess a couple of them did get up into my brain, because I can still hear them making that noise. It's worse than a gnat. No. Again, air conditioning. Mother's Day is coming up. So how about if you're in need of an air conditioner and you want to keep your better half nice and cool, and everybody's tempers down in the heat, and live in a comfortable environment without cicadas in your head like mine, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights. rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Drury Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
It's the Extra Innings Show here on KMOX. Cardinals, good 3-2 win over the Phillies. The Extra Innings Show is presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. If you want to join the program, you can do so by calling, texting, tweeting, or leaving a message on the video stream. Calling or texting is 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, or you tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. Leave that video message wherever you happen to be watching it if you are somebody that's watching the show tonight. All right, let's get through some more of the text messages from the 573. Says, I enjoy turning on the game each night. They are fun. They play until the last out, and I hope the stadium will be filled when the Cardinals get home. These boys are very confident and can do big things. I said this earlier. Again, if you're staying away, you're a fan. You have every right to do whatever you want to do. This is a fun team. This is a really fun team. I thought they were going to be kind of fun. I didn't really know how much they were going to win. But they're winning a lot right now. We'll see if it holds up. But even if they're not winning as much, they're still fun, and you like watching the way they play every night. From the 217 says, I like Pages behind the plate and Herrera at the plate. Do you think the Cardinals are finding their DH? I think the best Cardinals lineup right now is the one with Ivan Herrera DHing and Pedro Pages behind the plate. That doesn't mean that you don't put Herrera back there a little bit. But also, as you start to look forward to what this team's going to look like moving forward, there you go. I can use other words in the English language. At some point, Jimmy Crooks is going to be here. And the Cardinals are going to have a decision to make when Crooks is here. Do they carry 3 catchers? Do they carry 2 catchers? And one of the catchers, Ivan Herrera, isn't a catcher anymore. Do you trade away one of those players? And this is to take nothing away from Joel Pozo and the job he has done. Pozo's been really, really good. And no matter what happens with Pozo moving forward, I hope he has proved to other organizations that he deserves to have a big league opportunity if it ever gets to a point where Jimmy Crooks is ready and you don't have a spot for Pozo anymore. But it's going to be either at the end of this year or next year that Jimmy Crooks is going to be ready. And you got to have a plan for that. And Pedro Pages is the perfect catcher for you, like backup catcher. And I say backup, like second catcher. That'd be the better way to say it. Backup makes it sound like he's not going to play very, in the world of Yadier Molina, when you are a backup catcher, you don't play very much. That's a very rare thing. But in St. Louis, there's a connotation that goes along with backup catcher that probably isn't totally true because they play more often than maybe we give credit for. But yeah, I think part of what excites me about Ivan Herrera as the club's DH moving forward is the idea that you can still have Crooks and Pages on the roster, and it would make sense. Now, at some point, you would think Luken Baker's going to be back here. He's going to get his swing put together. He can be a really impactful bat off the bench. He's just got to figure out what it takes to be that guy and how to stay sharp even when not starting that often. And he's got to have that home run swing ready for the big leagues. But for at least right now, having Joel Pozo in that spot makes a lot of sense for sure. From the 256 says Walker's defense is much improved. Credit to him for putting in the work. I mentioned earlier that part of what's going on with Matthew Liberatore is the runway season. So this is an interesting text message from the 256. Says, Liberatore was put in the rotation because he earned it in spring, not because of runway. He earned it. Well, both things are true. Both things are true. If he does not earn it in spring, he doesn't get the opportunity to be in the rotation. And I feel like that goes without saying. You know, when I talk about the runway season, I'm not saying that he was just handed a job because they want to see what they have in him. That's not what I was saying. But what I am saying is, if this isn't that year of transition and that year of trying to find out who guys are, well, then Liberatore's been fantastic in the bullpen. You're just putting him back in the bullpen this year because it's a place where he's been able to be successful, and he had not been overly successful as a starter. So that opened up the door for it. Like, and the other side of that is Steven Matz had a great spring, had a fantastic spring. If Steven Matz was 7 years younger and one of your prospects coming up, or 10 years younger, whatever it might be, then he's probably in the same spot. But they don't need to really figure out Steven Matz. So Matz earned a spot in the rotation in spring. He's not in the rotation because of the way the roster works out and how he makes the team better overall. So yes, he earned his spot in spring. In no way, shape, or form was I saying that wasn't the case. But I would also say that the opportunity first presented itself because the Cardinals are in a spot where they really want to understand what they have in some of these young guys. From the 618 says, just get Jordan to walk a bit more on hitting strategy, not so much home runs. Cardinals always need guys on base, a plus in every inning. Text message from 573, going back to the Liberatore runway thing, says, I think a big benefit of the runway idea is really bearing some fruit with Libby and Victor Scott, especially mentality. Imagine knowing you have a job as long as you keep trying, and it can be a load off of one's shoulders. Eric sent that message in. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there is value in that. Now, at some point, you have to be able to like perform when there's pressure on you. It can't just be, okay, this is your job. But yeah, I agree with that. And there's value in just knowing that it's your job. Kevin says, tired of the media. I guess that's me. Tired of the media regurgitating runway. Stop. Okay, Kevin. A couple things. First off, if I never said the word runway again, I'd be okay with that. It's annoying, right? It's whether it's reboot, rebuild, transition, runway, like whatever tag word was used, you don't want to just use the same words over and over and over. So I get that. But here's the bottom line. It's what's going on. It is how you describe what is going on. The Cardinals are describing this as a runway season. They want to, and that's what's happening right now with Jordan Walker, and to a lesser extent, Nolan Gorman. Gorman's not quite in the lineup every day as much as Walker is, but Gorman's sticking around on the team. Katie Wu talked about this on her most recent Cardinals Territory podcast. She had talked to John Mozeliak, and she and Bernie Miklasz had this, and I thought it was interesting. They are going to continue to let those guys do what they do, and the results are not going to be the thing right now that completely determines if they're going to keep getting that opportunity or not. Now, there is a point of no return, right? Like there's the leash will run out at some point in time. But Kevin, you say stop regurgitating runway. Well, that's what's going on. Like that's what it is. Jordan Walker is in the lineup every single day because the team wants to give him runway. If you want me to come up with other words, I can. Jordan Walker's in the lineup every day because they want to give him that opportunity. Jordan Walker's in the lineup every day because they want to see what they have in him. Like, yeah, there's other words we can use, but it's not us regurgitating runway. It's us explaining what is going on. The Cardinals are giving guys that opportunity, allowing them to move forward no matter what, and that's part of it. So that's what's going on. It's not us just like regurgitating some sort of company line from the Cardinals. It's describing what is taking place with some of these players. Text message or message on YouTube from Space says, felt like a postseason game. Very exciting. It was fun. It was fun tonight, and you hope that feeling. Look, that's what the the fans in Philly are fantastic. What they announced tonight, 42,000, something like that. Like they sell out just about every single night there in Philadelphia. And when you have a crowd like that, it makes it feel like a postseason game. And to go win that kind of game, and I haven't talked about this much on the show yet. I probably should have. Maybe I should have even led off with this. I love the idea that these young guys, one of the youngest everyday lineups in all of Major League Baseball, tonight they got to experience protecting a one-run lead in Philadelphia against a really good team. And twice they weren't able to protect it, but they were able to take that lead once again. And then once they got it for a third time, they were able to hold on to it. There is, beyond just getting a win, beyond just winning a 9th straight game, there is value in being able to play these type of games. And I'm glad this group was able to experience this. Walt sends a message in on Twitter, says, in my opinion, the biggest change in Liberatore is a mental maturity. He removed doubt from his mind and became aggressive. Yeah, the aggressive thing is notable because when he was at his best in the bullpen, he was super aggressive. We didn't always see that, and sometimes we would see guys be a little bit not guys. We would see him maybe be seemingly. It's hard to say for sure because we're not in his head, but it would feel like there was some. He would be not quite as aggressive. I almost use the word timid. I feel like that'd be too strong of a word. But what we are seeing from him this year in his approach, it does seem very different than what we have seen in his approach in previous years. What's on Deck is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have, the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. Game 2 of this series, it is set to come up tomorrow evening as long as there's not too much rain. There is rain in the forecast. Hopefully it stays away for 3 hours or so. They're starting at about, 6:45 Eastern, 5:45 our time. It's going to be 5:45. So 4:50 is when our pregame show is going to begin. Sonny Gray is going to be on the mound for the Cardinals. The right-hander is 4-1 with a 3.50 ERA. Jesus Luzardo is going to go for the Phillies. He's a lefty who is 3-0 with a 2.11 ERA. That is going to do it for the program tonight. This was a fun one. Lots of interaction. Thanks to, I think I got just about everybody who came in on the text line or on Twitter or anything else. If I missed you, it was not done on purpose. And we appreciate you interacting with us tonight. Cardinals get the win in Philadelphia by a 3-2 score. We will talk to you again tomorrow for more Cardinals baseball right here on KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman, like a Hall of Fame talent.